Pokemon fever is back, and it's everywhere.
Nostalgia hits in, like, I'm a kid, I need to play this again, it's real life.
Attracting hordes of players to venture outside to Central Park in New York City to stare at their phones.
Pikachu and 150 of his little friends can now appear in your office, on city streets.
It's a Japanese term short for pocket monster.
This could be this year's Christmas boom.
Who knows how far this is going to go? They may have reached critical mass with this release. Is overdone? Well, I think it's hitting that point.
Pokemon has had a major impact on popular culture for over 2 decades. It's a very popular game, there's no denying that. But then the Pokemon Go craze happened, and that's what put the whole thing into perspective for me. Now we're getting 2 new games based off of the old games with Pokemon Go integration. I don't think you understand how big this is going to be. But don't worry, we'll get there together. Pokemon Red and Blue for the Game Boy is number 9 on the list of best-selling video games of all time, selling 31 million copies. That means if you were a kid in 1998 and you didn't have this game, then your parents didn't love you, and I'm very sorry you're just finding that out. The success of this game could also be attributed to the anime, or the trading card game, or any of the merchandise, all of which came out the same year of the game's release. In North America, anyway. Maybe the anime was a year late for you somewhere, but still, that's very, very quick for all of these things to come out at the same time. Nintendo and its friends over at Game Freak and Creatures Inc. pushed promotion very hard. It's very unusual for a franchise to launch like this. A brute force attack across all wavelengths. A large investment that paid off very well. It's no doubt that it was a phenomenon when it came out. Over the following years, Pokemon was always there and always popular, but didn't have the same sort of hype around it. This didn't stop the games from selling well. The franchise made well over $1 billion year after year after year, but for a kid like me, it was hard to recreate that magic of Red and Blue. With every new game came new Pokemon. Kids like myself were burnt out. I just learned everything about 151 Pokemon. You mean I gotta learn about 100 more? And the more generations that flew by, the more daunting it felt to come back. I was someone who was really into the franchise as a kid, but fell off very shortly after. Again, Pokemon games are still huge. Every release ends up being the top seller for that month. It also helps that the games release in pairs, and a lot of people end up buying both. Another contributing factor is that Nintendo portable consoles sell so well. The Game Boy, the DS, the 3DS, those install bases were huge. Everybody had at least one. And parents with multiple kids could get a similar but different game for each of their kids to keep them occupied without fighting over who got the better game. It's a brilliant marketing strategy. So while, from my perspective, Pokemon might have had a dip in popularity, it was always mainstream and incredibly successful. But it wasn't until Pokemon Go that it hit those phenomenon levels once again. Do you remember that? In 2016, every single person walking down the street looking at their phone was playing Pokemon Go. It gave people like me a reason to go outside and visit public places where humans congregate. I got to talk to so many people I otherwise never would have just because of this stupid phone app. If you went to an area like a park with a lot of landmarks, someone might yell out, "Charmeleon, over there!" Then everyone would run over and refresh the app 100 times to try to get it in time. I had coworkers, people who were not interested in video games or Nintendo or any other IP otherwise, who would leave up the Pokemon Go map on their computer all day just to see if there would be a new Pokemon in the area. If that's not an otherworldly level of phenomenon, then I have no idea what is. In 2015, before Pokemon Go, the Pokemon franchise made $2.1 billion worldwide outside of Asia. I don't know why these numbers don't include Asia. I'm sure those numbers are very significant. In 2016, the year of Pokemon Go, it made $3.3 billion. It has been the #1 highest grossing media franchise. It's bigger than Star Wars, It's bigger than the MCU. Almost combined, but not quite. Maybe this year. And the thing is, I don't know when it took the #1 spot, but it wasn't because of Pokemon Go. It was #1 even before that. If you remember back in 2016, the Pokemon Go hype quickly dissipated as the weeks went on. News outlets weren't reporting on kids walking into traffic to catch a Zubat anymore. Parks were starting to look about as empty as they normally did. The app was still a trashy mess. By September, the game had lost 79% of its users. But it was still the highest grossing app of the entire year. And in 2017, despite most people considering it dead, it was #9 on the highest grossing games list. It was only dead by comparison. It still had 60 million active users a year after launch. That's not 800 million, but it's definitely far from small. Now, 2018. The Nintendo Switch is Nintendo's fastest selling console, on track to beat Wii numbers, which if it does, would thrust the Nintendo Switch up to the top 5 best selling consoles of all time. The Pokemon Company just announced a brand new Pokemon game for this hot new console. And it's a Gen 1 remake. And it's got Pokemon Go integration. Do you see what I'm getting at here? Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee are the perfect storm, created specifically to tick as many check marks to pique the interest of the largest amount of dormant fans. These people aren't going to care that you can't battle wild Pokemon. They just want to see all these Pokemon's big dumb faces in 3D. Hardcore Pokemon fans are upset. They were very much looking forward to a whole new Generation 8 game with all new Pokemon. The Pokemon Company announced that that game is coming next year. Pokemon Let's Go is meant to grow the fan base, get them hooked on the game again. Then next year they'll release a more serious game and get these users up to speed. This is a good thing for everybody. And besides, the Pokemon fans who are complaining about Let's Go are gonna get the game anyway. Who are you kidding? It's said that Pokemon Let's Go will ship 600,000 units to retailers at launch in just France. By comparison, Super Mario Odyssey shipped 350,000 units to French retailers, and that game sold 2 million copies worldwide in its first 4 days. Now, with more and more people adopting the Switch every day, and the mainstream success of Pokemon Go, it's anticipated that Let's Go is going to be another massive success. Let's also consider that with Pokemon Go integration and the fact that you can transfer all of your Gen 1 Pokemon from Pokemon Go into Pokemon Let's Go, that there might be a resurgence in the Pokemon Go user base. I went into the city to prove that Pokemon Go is still a very popular app despite its absence in the media lately. To my surprise and disappointment, I did not see a single person playing Pokemon Go. A lot of people just openly looking at their bank account. Maybe don't do that in public. But I did notice that every single person in the park was on their phones. So at the very least, every single person has the capability to be playing Pokemon at any given time. But I also noticed a ton of Pokemon branding sprinkled about. Even if the game isn't what's holding people's attention, it's hard to avoid the brand. I feel like I need to reiterate this. Just because a game isn't as popular as it once was, doesn't mean that it's not big anymore. The people who are saying Pokemon Go's dead are speaking comparatively to the astronomical numbers from when the game first launched. But hey, who knows? Maybe this November we'll see a big resurgence. Not as big as launch, but I'm sure that if you're playing it out in public, you'll bump into a few other people who are also playing it. And this time they'll be even more noticeable because they'll probably have their Switch with them too. Or 6 $50 Pokeballs. Grown-ass men running around parks with a belt full of Pokeballs. That'll be me. Throughout this whole adventure, I started playing Pokemon Go again myself. And it got me way more excited for Pokemon Let's Go on the Switch. It's making me want to collect as many Pokemon as I can on the app so that when the games come out, I can just transfer them over. My starting lineup is going to be fantastic. And I won't have to walk around the tall grass a million times for each number on the Pokedex. I will have gotten most of those out of the way by then. That makes people very mad. I'm 100% a Gen 1er, which is somewhat derogatory in the Pokemon community, but good, we're taking it back. I tried to get into Y many years later. I was kinda into it. I tried getting into Sun and Moon. I couldn't do it. But I was very into the first generation. I was very into Pokemon Go, and I'm very into the idea of Let's Go. And who knows, maybe I'll also be into next year's game too. So what do you guys think about how big the Pokemon franchise and all of the games really are? Is it a little bit blowing your mind, or did you know all this stuff already? Leave in the comments below. At me on Twitter, all this other social media garbage. I mean, bigger than Star Wars? You didn't know it was bigger than Star Wars. You couldn't have known that. Anyway, we got new videos and live streams all of the time. Check our pinned tweet on our Twitter for our schedule. It's like almost every day. Pretty much every day. Next week, we will be at E3 where our schedule will be only a little bit out of whack. We're gonna pretty much keep everything normal. This show might be late, but hopefully I'll get some Smash Bros. Gameplay going. Don't forget about our live streams here on YouTube and over on twitch.tv/WolfDen, where if you have Amazon Prime, you could subscribe to us for free using Twitch Prime and help support the channel. But as always, the most important things that you could do is subscribe right here on YouTube and share this video with a friend who maybe was into Pokemon and fell off. And we can get him right back on with Pokemon Let's Go. Thank you guys very much. You have yourselves a very good week. I'm gonna take down this whole set.